It's so obvious. During the last bull market, it was the narratives that drove some of the biggest successes in crypto. Layer 1s and GameFi saw Solana and Gala absolutely exploding, but right now at the start of 2024 things are a bit different. We're seeing a narrative emerging that no one's really been talking about much before, but right now this narrative is coming in hotter and harder than anything I've seen in the last few years in crypto. This narrative is the one we should be paying attention to, and in this video I'll tell you exactly why that is, and as well I'm going to tell you a crypto project within that narrative that is definitely one to watch. I'm also going to teach you how you can set up a node and earn yourself free rewards if you have the patience to stick around to the end of this video. So do me a favor, hit that like button, and let's get into today's video. Now guys, first of all I started across on Masari, a very interesting research site, and I talked about this the other day, talking about DEPIN, decentralized physical infrastructure, which is the narrative that you've all been waiting to talk about today. Now you can see here the state of DEPIN back in 2023, and luckily for you I've already been through and read this and identified effectively what it's saying. Throughout 2023 we see a huge amount of growth early on in AI, and that's then started to see a bigger growth in things like Web3 storage, Web3 AI, and Web3 computing, and many other things. And from that you've started to see some good growth of some projects within those ecosystems. But there's one project out there which I've struggled to find much in the way of information on YouTube or Twitter about, and it's AIOZ. Now AIOZ is its own layer 1 blockchain that is the host to a variety of different Web3 services. It offers Web3 storage like Storj. It's soon to offer Web3 streaming services like LivePeer or Theta Network. It offers Web3 IPFS like Filecoin, and it also offers Web3 AI like Bitenza or Singularity Net, and all of this is within one ecosystem, and that is something I'm very excited about because all of these particular elements complement each other perfectly. Now you're probably wondering, what is DEPIN? Well, that's a good question. DEPIN is decentralized physical infrastructure networks, and it refers to projects building a real-world infrastructure like wireless networks, compute sensors, and more. And one of the things that's caused such an explosion in this particular narrative right now is the growth we saw at the start of last year in AI. Now AI, as you know, is an extremely interesting concept, and it's taken the world by storm in the last year or so. Now one thing we know about AI is it's extremely demanding on computation and as well on storage, and a lot of these projects don't necessarily have the ability to do this themselves and will therefore start to outsource things like computational power and storage. Now traditionally this has been done through Web 2, but there's a bit of a problem with that because the Web 2 companies that offer it have pretty much a monopoly over the space. You'll see here Amazon S3, Microsoft, Google Cloud, and notice how they all pretty much have the same prices for everything going on here. $20.48 pretty much per terabyte per month. And then when coming to delivery bandwidth price, the prices are pretty insane. $122 for Amazon S3, Microsoft Azure at $82, and $123 for Google. And when you compare them to AIOZ with $17 per terabyte per month and then $5 per terabyte of bandwidth, then you can see that Web3 is starting to look very competitive indeed. You can see that Filecoin and Arweave are also offering extremely cheap storage options, but without being able to provide much in terms of the bandwidth option. Now, as we know, it's not just AI that's been driving some of this growth. Also, we're seeing a huge move in gaming, and as gaming starts to switch towards Web3, we're going to see a bigger demand for projects like AIOZ. So how does AIOZ work? Well, effectively, it's basically run by things called nodes, and you yourself can become a contributor to the network, and I'll show you how to do that slightly later on in order to earn yourself AIOZ tokens. I've already done this today, and it takes literally a couple of minutes to set up, and is absolutely free to do so. Now you yourself run a computer or laptop that maybe has some storage on it available. Now what you can do is you can contribute your storage to the ecosystem. Now as AIOZ captures more nodes, and at the moment it already has over 60,000, more and more nodes means that it's going to be a more and more decentralized network. So you're not just relying on one big data center having a bunch of servers. By being decentralized, it means the security is higher, and it's also much more cost and energy efficient. You can offer yourself up as a node and you'll earn rewards back. You can see by using this node you can contribute to a variety of different things. In terms of AI, collaborative and decentralized AI computation is now available to anyone, anywhere. And this is very cool because individuals and different organizations can train different AI models, that can store datasets, build dApps and monetize all by using the framework provided by AIOZ. Now you can see that's not available just yet. It's going to be coming up in this year, and we'll look at the roadmap in just a moment, which is very ambitious indeed. We've already talked about storage, but effectively faster, more affordable, and decentralized are always going to be good things. They're going to be looking to also incorporate decentralized streaming. Now, if you've ever tried to build a website and you've tried to put up a video on that website, then you would have found it to be very difficult indeed, and probably ended up having to use either YouTube or another platform to be able to link up your videos. The problem with that is every time someone clicks on that YouTube video, it then takes them away from your website to somewhere else, which is a nightmare, or you have to use another one, which is incredibly expensive. Therefore, you're going to be able to integrate different videos into your websites, etc., all through Web3, and it's all going to be extremely affordable. And also, you're going to have true ownership of those videos as well, because obviously it's not owned by a platform. When I'm creating this YouTube video, technically I don't really own it after it's posted. YouTube can do whatever they want with it. And then also you're going to be integrating IPFS as well. Now you can come over and look at the AIOZ Network Blockchain Explorer, but because it's built on its own blockchain, it utilizes the robustness of Cosmos with the security of an Ethereum EVM. This makes for cheap transactions, extremely fast and secure network that is perfect for operating all of these different elements on. Now as well, there's already 40 developers building decentralized applications on this particular chain. Now you can get into the weeds a bit and dig down deeper and understand all the technical details, which I know some people really love, but it's worth highlighting this second part here. The network's multi-chain structure facilitates integration with prominent EVM or Ethereum virtual machine chains, such as Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, through a gravity bridge with the Cosmos-based chains like Cosmos via the IBCs, or inter-blockchain communication. This means it makes it very easy for developers to create interoperable ecosystems and allows developers to make use of various software development kits. Now, coming across to the Web3 storage site, you can see that there's a lot more details here for the developers to be able to come in and utilize all of this. And this, unlike many other projects out there, is an already working project. It's already got over 60,000 nodes, already got developers coming in, and has a hugely ambitious team. Now, obviously, this project needs a token, and the AIOZ token is the native token of the whole ecosystem. It's used by the network to pay the nodes for contributing to the network. It's used by the developers building onto the blockchain, and it's also used for various other transactional fees. Now, up until now, it's had an inflation rate of 9%, which some might think is a little high. However, in December, it dropped down to 8%, and it will continue to drop down each year for the next 4 years until it reaches a base rate of 5%, which is what it will carry on having. But coming down through here as well, you can see that there is also burning of transactional fees, burning on rewards, burning on infrastructure revenues, and lots of other bits and pieces. Okay, so whilst that 5% inflation might seem a little high, because of the burning, etc., that takes place, it kind of levels out. And if you go and look at any of the charts for crypto today, a move of like 10% is pretty standard in most cryptos on any given day during a bull market. Now, when looking into new crypto projects, and when I'm starting to feel out whether I want to be investing into a project or not, comes down to a variety of things. We've already talked about the narrative, we've talked about whether or not it's a working project, whether things are going well for them, the team, etc. But what's worth taking a look at here is the roadmap, or what they've called the vision paper. If you go through it, it basically tells you that they've already sort of started out with a few different working features, such as the decentralized storage, but their ambitions taking them to the next level, trying to integrate various other bits and pieces, such as the Web3 streaming, etc. And you can see there's a very good reason they're doing all this. Web3 streaming market has been worth around $554 billion. They're trying to get into that space. And to be honest, it's one of the more ambitious projects out there, particularly within the narrative that I'm very excited about. And before we check out the price and where I anticipate the price of AIOZ going in the future, based on a few different factors, let's just see how easy it is to set up a node. Simply, you come across here and you can click on AIOZ node, and then you can just select whichever system you're running, Mac, Windows, etc. I, for one, am running a Mac. I click on that, it downloads the launch feature, and now you can see I've already downloaded it. I said I'm willing to give it 57 gigabytes of my storage, and then over time it should start to pay me in rewards. Now, there are other little bits and pieces I think I have to play around with in order to get this up and running fully, but it's very, very straightforward and easy. And this is the future. I think people are going to be contributing to networks and being rewarded, whether that's providing wireless bandwidth, whether that's providing computation power or storage, or all sorts of other different bits and pieces. So guys, it comes to this time in the video, everyone's favorite. How much money can I make if I invest in this project? Well, guys, so first of all, let's come across to CoinMarketCap, because it's essential that we understand the already existing valuation of this project, as well as other bits and pieces like circulating supplies. Now, what we can see, market cap, $148 million. Current volume sat at 4.7 million. Now, we already talked about Filecoin. Filecoin sits here with $2.8 billion market cap, which is a 20x bigger right now than AIOZ. But remember, AIOZ isn't just limited to IPFS stuff like Filecoin does. Also offers a decentralized storage solution like Storage, 240 million, which is already a 2x on AIOZ. Bitenza sits here at $1.4 billion, a capability that AIOZ is potentially going to have in the future. DEPIN Network, live streaming services, $1 billion. Now, I'm not saying we add all of these figures together and say that AIOZ is going to be worth that, but you're starting to understand what I'm getting at here. AIOZ currently sits here with a $140 million market cap, which isn't tiny by any means, but realistically seeing it go well beyond $1 billion, up towards $2, maybe even $3 billion, in a killer blow-off top bull market where the narratives are hot, could be a very interesting play. Well, where we are on the charts right now, you'll see, is here. And you'll be like, yeah, well, I wish you brought me this video at the end of October. Well, of course, but that's the same for pretty much all the crypto projects out there. But it doesn't mean that we still don't have potentially some great upsides to be playing with. And what I really like to see right now is the fact that we've had a very good, healthy pullback in the price, dipping around 44%. And if you take the Fibonacci from this most recent pullback to the top, we see that the retrace comes down to the golden ratio, 0.618. And lines up perfectly in this buy zone right now. Now, we are sort of dipping in and out of this buy zone around 11 cents, currently just a little bit above that. And obviously, if tomorrow or Wednesday this Bitcoin ETF gets approved, I think the whole crypto market could run very hot for a while. So what would I think? Well, first of all, I would understand the narrative. I understand whether or not I think it's going to be worth significantly more down the line. And I find it hard to see a way that this doesn't continue to grow with a really exciting roadmap ahead of it. We can see that we potentially would have a pattern like this play out, although we could just see a break straight up here, and right now could be a decent opportunity. And I want to take a moment to thank AIOZ, who've sponsored this video, and I do believe that they are going to be having more and more marketing campaigns going on all the time. I think whilst people don't like the idea that sponsorship etc. goes on, personally I find it kind of exciting. If they're then going to go across to a bunch of other KOLs like me, there's a good opportunity to maybe spread the word even more about this project, and that is also going to have a positive impact potentially on the price. So obviously go and do your own research. Nothing I said is financial advice. I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you want to find out more about some of these killer projects, then hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the very next video. Bye bye.